I mean, he just doesn't care, man. He will call these fools out to their face right here. What? Listen to this.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across the stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you. Holy crap, dude. Just like right there. Like he just does not back off at all. He doesn't care. It's so damn funny. We've got this clip right here talking about Doge and Elon Musk. Here we go.
Elon Musk and Doge. Everyone knows that there's wasteful government spending. It's really important. But the cuts have had some serious consequences. There have been cuts to foreign aid programs that save lives and keep people alive overseas. There's been research at the National Institutes of Health on cancer, on Alzheimer's, that has had to be stopped. And the question I think people have is, did Doge go too far, too fast, too reckless?
No, I think Doge has been, saved $150 billion. We saved, that's a lot of money. There's also a lot of things right now under investigation, which is going to increase that amount by a lot. That's a tremendous amount of money. There were some things where, when I heard about them, I put them back, as you know. There are things that I'm considering right now putting back, but overall we've saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, the original promise was $2 trillion, went to $1 trillion, now it's $150 billion, and heading south.
You don't know what it's going to be because we have things that are at a very high level that are being looked at right now. We also found tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, as you know. We found a lot of fraud. There was a lot of fraud. Fraudulent things were taking place, and we ended that, and those people are going to be suffering because of it.
A legal note, fraud is a crime. There have been no referrals to the Justice Department at any.
Well, you don't know that, do you? How do you know that?
Have there been referrals to the, are there criminal referrals?
How would you know that there were no referrals? I think there were referrals.
They generally, all right, there's been no investigation from the Justice Department.
How do you know that?
I'm asking you, sir.
No, you're not asking me. You made a statement. You're not
now I'm asking you.
That was a statement that you made. There had
I'm
been.
Asking you.
Have there been? Yes, there have.
So there have been referrals for fraud from the workers.
Of course there have been. Take a look at some of these things that took place. Billions of dollars were given to people for no reason whatsoever.
I freaking love Trump, man. It's so good. Then we got this clip right here talking about Russia.
The fighting. Don't forget.
You think he wants peace? You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think he does. I think
even with the raining missiles.
I think he really, his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust him?
I think.
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
and
happy.
Then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered with a tattoo doesn't have the tattoo. You know.
All right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No, no.
Let me just tell you, do I trust? I don't trust a lot of people, but I do think this. I think that let's say he respects me. And I believe because of me, he's not going to take over the whole. But his decision, his choice would be to take over all of Ukraine. Okay. It's a war that never should have happened.
I don't trust you. Now, there was an interesting thing that came out of this, and that had to do with, he mentioned it right there, but the tattoo. So let me find this clip right here. Okay, so good old Ian from Timcast had this to say. Trump owes this reporter a public apology. The guy didn't have MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. He had 4 shapes on his knuckles that could be interpreted as representing MS-13. I responded to Ian and I said, Trump owes this reporter a public apology. Fuck off and fuck the media. And I ratioed the hell out of him. So let's listen to this clip. Now, in this clip, I think Trump probably misspoke for sure, but he absolutely does not owe the media an apology. But I do think that Trump slightly misspoke on the topic. I guess before we do that, this is the picture that is being referenced right here. Now, the MS-13, that is something that was placed on this picture so that it could help identify what these symbols mean. The MS-13 is not word or letters and numbers are not tattooed on this guy's hand, but the symbols are there, and they're saying that the symbols represent MS-13. That's why the MS-13 is there. Okay. Now, Trump misspeaks a little bit for sure. Let's listen to what is said right here.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you.
I picked you because, quite frankly, I never heard of you.
Right. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else.
It's contested.
Now, what's interesting, and again, I just learned about this last, like the more the details. Obviously, we saw the picture that Trump tweeted out. And so after this, I started looking into it further, and I'm going to assume that these are real pictures. Again, it is the internet, so it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real. But right here, this is a picture with him and his wife, and his wife always puts the hearts over his hand in the pictures. And this is like multiple pictures. She always put hearts over his hand to not show these tattoos that apparently aren't problematic according to the mainstream media. Every single picture that, at least multiple pictures that I've seen from her, she photoshopped hearts over the hand. Why? I'm assuming because she knows. But this reporter, and I think Trump is speaking more directly about the tattoo to say, like, this tattoo is MS-13. It's on his hand in the symbolic nature. And of course, the media is trying to twist that, manipulate that. And of course, I like how they always want to give illegal immigrants the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're illegal. They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, this ABC interview was kind of a disaster. It was kind of a disaster. It really was.
Joe Rogan said this. Joe Rogan, one of the leading podcasters, Trump supporter, about the deportation of.
I like how suddenly the mainstream media cares about what Joe Rogan thinks now. Suddenly. The mainstream media suddenly cares about what Joe Rogan thinks, by the way. Let me back this up again now.
Presidential power, the powers that you have in the presidency temporarily that the American people have given you, right? You've revoked a lot of people's security clearances. You've revoked people's security details who are still threatened, with death threats. You've gone after law firms because they've employed people you don't like, or they have represented people
Well,
you
they
don't
obviously
like.
agreed because they paid me a lot of money.
Well, the reason they agreed is because you were threatening to destroy their business with your executive order that said you can't represent clients for the federal government. That's their bread and
big
butter.
boys. These are the biggest, most powerful lawyers. These are not
You got a
people that
lot of leverage
are
as
easily
president.
intimidated.
As president, you got all the cards.
They paid hundreds of millions of dollars because they felt, I guess, they probably.
You said as president, he has all the cards. Why didn't you ever press Joe Biden on these things, ABC News? Why didn't you sit Joe Biden down and press him and go, you have all the cards? Why are you allowing a former president of the United States to be targeted in this nature? Why are you allowing this, President Biden? You never said that, did you? You never had these concerns when Biden was in office, did you?
They felt they did something wrong.
It was for survival, sir.
No, it isn't.
You were crushing their business.
These firms are very powerful firms, and there's 15 of them. And these are firms that probably, look, you have to ask them. In fact, this is a separate story. You have to ask them, why did you all pay Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in services, etc.? Why did you do that? I don't know.
You don't think that
we have a clause in the thing that while we admit no wrongdoing, but it's like one of those things. And now I'm friendly with those firms, but it's these are the most powerful firms in the world, and they just signed whatever I put in front of them. I've never seen anything like it. I'm actually surprised myself in a certain way, but they obviously felt they probably did something wrong. I guess that's why they signed.
I guess the question out of that is the concern that people have. Are you using your powers as president to get personal revenge?
No, I'll tell you what you're really not asking, and you should be asking. There has never been a president in this country, in the history, that was persecuted like I was persecuted by really crooked people, dishonest, horrible people, and it's been proven. So when you say I'm treating people rough, I'm not treating people rough. I was treated worse than any president in the history of our country. And, people figured, well, maybe that's it. Finally, we got, he's leaving town. There goes the helicopter. And then I came back. And I came back because I have tremendous support. When you win an election like I won it, and you will admit I won all 7 swing states. I won the popular vote. I won 2,750 districts compared to 500 districts. That's why the map is all red. And those people feel that I was treated unfairly.
But does that give you the right to go after your political opponents with the powers of this office?
I'm going after, all I'm doing, hey, Biden did something to me, and I did something to Biden. And you know why I did it? Because he's grossly incompetent. That's not a man that should be allowed to, be looking at things that are very confidential.
But what about,
because he didn't,
71 people.
Here's a man that used an auto pen to sign very important documents. Now, who really do you think he knew that they were using an auto pen? I mean, he used an auto pen to sign very, very important documents. And so those are really the questions you should be asking. What do you think of the auto pen? Who wielded the auto pen? Because whoever that person was, think of it, whoever the person that wielded the auto pen, he was really the president of the United States. Because I don't think that Biden knew anything about it.
Fair enough. But you are the president now, and I'm asking the justification for going after people you don't like.
No. People that I think are dishonest. It's not that I don't even know most of them. They're people that I think
These people made you
dishonest.
angry.
It's not anger. These are people that I think are very dishonest. I don't think they're worthy of being able to go into top secret information. I think that's
reminder that the Biden DOJ had a person arrested for a fucking meme. Yes, a meme. They had a person arrested for a meme. They had hundreds of people arrested for a guided tour. But none of these things were a problem.
It's fine. And Biden did that with many of our people. But when you look at it, these are people that I don't think are worthy. That's my decision. It's not a question of anger.
Okay. I understand you just had a phone call with a new Canadian premier, and they just had this election.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
It was
this
a big
part.
issue in it. And Canadians, many of them, are really angry, furious about your talk about we're going to take over Canada, is going to become the 51st state. And it kind of is of a piece. A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It feels like the's been reputational
damage. The country's doing great.
Well,
prices are down.
Not the tourism.
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Where do you see the numbers? The tourism is way up.
Not now.
Now Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Where do you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now? Where do you see the numbers?
But do you think, I'm going to ask you, if I may, do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
Thank you for the opinion, but more importantly, thank you for having us here. I have one more question. It's a big one. It's a question that you know a lot of people have out there. What do you say to people who are concerned you are seizing too much power and becoming an authoritarian president like we haven't had before?
No, I would hate them to think that. I'm doing one thing. I'm making America great again. We have a country that was failing. We have a country that was laughed at all over the world. We had a leader that was grossly incompetent. He should have never been there. The election was rigged. He should have never been there. Our country suffered greatly, and now our country's coming back like nobody can believe. I have editorials just today where they're saying they've never seen anything like it. They love it. Our country's coming back, and we're respected again.
Trump is so good at this stuff, man. He's so funny. And, you know, I mean, they want to, this interviewer tried like hell to get something on Trump. Trump's only issue was how he handled the MS-13 tattoos. He misspoke on that. But it is what it is, you know? So